whiskey, Pancho drink the wine. Loved his whiskey, Pancho drink the wine. Met down on the border, Rio Grande. Met down on the border, Rio Grande. Eat them salted peanuts from the can. We eat them salted peanuts at the can. And our lost had us pinned down at the fort. Our lost had us pinned down at the fort. Cisco came and blasted, drinking port.
Cisco, gracias, Amadeo.
Cisco came and blasted, drinking port. Ay, 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 Walk down in the sunset made of steel. And rode that sunset with horses made of steel. I chased a gringo last night out my field. I ran some gringo last night out my field. Ay, 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 ay. Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. 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 Oh, oh, oh. Oh, 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 oh. Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. Cisco Kid was a friend of mine. And I tell you what, that's the end of it. Well, I love that tune. I wanted to perform something else for you this morning. And then, yes, it's still morning, but I couldn't find an empty orchestra to back me up. I wanted to play another song by War called Slipping into Darkness. A great tune. Excellent tune. I will get it out to you. And to my beloved friends over on BitChute, I may not be able to do any Skinny Puppy. Look, I was around and alive during the Industrial Revolution, not the one at the turn of the last century, but the industrial music revolution. And I always liked Skinny Puppy, but I never considered myself what I will call a mumbler. A mumbler. I'm a singer. Am I a good singer? It's up to you. It's very subjective. Most would say, that fucking fat dude with the beard. Are you shitting me? He's so ugly. He is such a hideous, ugly ogre that there is no possible way that beauty could come forth from his lips. Well, again, that's very subjective. Good to see you, Memes of Destruction. I've seen that you sent me a link, but I think I logged on as the Ogre instead of Ogre, and it may have been something a long, long time ago. I tried to join the Hangout link. It might have been so long ago you don't know what the hell I'm talking about. So I mean, things have changed so much. Common Sense Guy, good to see you, my brother. You may appreciate this, Common Sense, what's coming up here. I've lied to you, folks. And I'm going to explain what I lied to you about today, because I don't want anyone to go through what I've recently went through and to believe, as I believed for a while, that they were going through it alone, that no one had ever been through anything on, like they're going through. And before I start and hey hawing around, look, I'm going to bare my soul today to a small extent. People here have heard me talk about my father and talk about his passing, but I didn't know he'd passed until yesterday. I knew he was getting very old, but I didn't know that he passed until yesterday. I was my father's favorite. I'm not ashamed of that. He was my favorite. I chose my father over my mother time and time again because his loyalty was exemplary. His manhood was second to none, and there was no one that loved me and cared for me. Sometimes harshly, sometimes the love came by way of a backhand, my friends. Sometimes the love came by way of a new motorcycle when I was only 7 years old. The love came many different ways. It would be inside jokes that we had. It would be the purest of loves, not a mother to a son or a daughter to a mother, but the purest of loves, my friends. The one rooted in logic, the purest of loves. That pure love between a father and his son. If you don't believe me, if you don't think that this is a powerful, powerful, powerful form of magic, that this is the most powerful form of magic that there is on earth today, look in the communities where they attempt to destroy the father in the household. In the interest of hopefully this video staying up and not being called a hate monger, I won't point out any of these particular groups of people. You can see them for yourselves. But someone's figured out, if you would like to create a victim, if you want to create a state-dependent human being, then what you do is you take their father away. You let them be raised by women. Take away that magic. Take away those spells that are cast by the most powerful of wizards, your beloved father, my beloved father. I don't know your father. You may tell yourself, God forbid, that you hate your father. You've been lied to. You don't hate your father. Your father never hated you. So often, my friends, women drive wedges in between the love that we have for one another. I am speaking to my male brothers right now. I'm sorry, my female friends. I could probably try to give you some wisdom, but the wisdom that I have is male wisdom. And so they try to destroy these most powerful of wizards. They try to tear them down. These wizards that with utterance can ignite a fire in a young man's soul that will never be quenched, though the world throw water on it. The most powerful magic, my friends. So let me get to it. My mother was jealous for years that my father and I loved each other, that it didn't matter what other people said about us. It didn't matter anything. Nothing mattered. When we get together, we watch old reruns of The Muppet Show and The Jeffersons. My dad had them all cataloged there on VCR tape. And if I hadn't seen him for a while, we lived in different states, it was often the case. We always greeted each other this way. Dear old dad of mine. He'd say, dear old son of mine. Like the old Hanna-Barbera cartoons. Because we did. We watched cartoons together. My mom would say, He-Man's going to rot your mind. And my dad would say, He-Man's on, son. And don't get me wrong. He made sure to point out that this is utter fantasy, boy. And we're enjoying this together because we're taking a break from reality. Well, about 2 years ago, my mom, because my father was having dementia, decided that she would tell me if I came to her house, she'd kill me. She'd shoot me. I believe her. I do believe her. I did inherit some things from my mother, and mm, if I tell you I'm going to shoot you, don't come around. I'm going to shoot you. And my mom's no different. I knew if I showed up, she'd kill me. And even though I love my father very much, his mind was slipping. The last time I seen him, he was very lucid. He was his normal self. He could remember his teachers that he had in elementary school. He's 82 years old the last time I saw him. But I could tell that his short-term memory was going away. And this giant, this 6'6", beautiful, benevolent giant of a wizard was beginning to shuffle off his mortal coil that he soon would have no need for. And so, how do you try to destroy a relationship that already has been? You don't let it go to fruition. You don't allow it to culminate in the end in a father now being held by his son. And a son wiping the father's nose and telling him that everything was going to be all right. Now, you may think, well, Ogre, we know you're crazy, and this proves it. You are complaining right now that you weren't allowed to see your father degrade and die, to wither away into nothing. My love for my father was such that I would count it a great honor to bear the burden of his passing. He put so many of my burdens on his own back. He carried me so many times when I couldn't walk. He kept watch so many nights when sleep overcame me, but danger lurked about. So I'm telling you, folks, my tagline isn't something that I just dreamed up one day on the fly. It's something I thought about very deeply. I said yesterday when my brother finally got a hold of me and let me know that our great father had fallen and was now being corrupted by the blight. And he had gone off to that place where great men gather. And I know now my father waits in Valhalla for me. That when I go, Elysium's gates will open wide and I'll feast at that table forever with the heroes that came before me. And even if I'm not worthy, I know my father will vouch for me. But yesterday, filled with rage and hate, unable to comprehend how someone could be so evil and so hateful, that jealousy could overpower kindness, caring for one's own child. In that fit of hate and rage, I told my wife, told my brother on the phone, when she's old, if I'm still alive, she needs not call me. When she, as she's driven everyone away from her life, finds out that she's old and alone, she might as well lose my number. But I repent of that sin, my friends. Mama, I know you may watch this. Though what you've done to me is worse than murder to me, though what you've done to me was to rob me of holding my father's hand while he breathed his last, kissing his cold, dead countenance, and embracing him one last time in his mortal form. Though these things are true, I love you, Mom. I forgive you. How can I not forgive you when the one I serve has forgiven me of the many, many, many horrible things I've done? I'm not a mopey person. I'm a happy-go-lucky person. Anyone watching me now that has watched me for any length of time knows that's true. But I will take the next couple days, and instead of wondering if it's true and not really knowing, I will mourn my father. And I hope, beyond hope, that one day I'll be able to embrace my mom and say, no, Mama, it's all right. Your beloved son forgives you and will always love you. And remember, folks, be good to your friends, be good to your family members, be good to your loved ones. Be quick to say you're sorry. Be even quicker to accept an apology, especially when that thing your friend, your family member, your loved one has done seems to be so huge, you'll never be able to forget about it. Because my beloved friends, humanity, listen to me. At a time you think not, your friends, your family members, your loved ones, your life, your beloved old wizard will depart from you. Big George, don't drink all the wine before I get there.